into how is this relating to something else we already learned. What is the trade-off? What is the relative regulatory state? Why are we making more of this and less of this? And which signal or signals are telling us to do that? Okay? So this is just a first example of that. So if we relate this, right, you know, you've got GLUT2, it's telling the pancreas to release that insulin, the insulin gets released into the bloodstream, it tells all these other cells to release GLUT4 to take in all of this glucose. The glucose is lowered, the GLUT2 goes away, the insulin stops being produced, right? Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it's up and down and up and down, over and over and over again.
So are GLUT2 and GLUT4 maybe a little bit more connected than some of the others, or?
Do you mean in terms of the way that they're shaped or the way that
No, how they respond to each other, or what they're...
Okay, so they're connected, they're not directly connected because GLUT2, they don't respond to each other, they respond to this intermediate signal, which is insulin.
Okay.
Right, so that's why we call it a second tier response, because it's responding to, like a first tier response would be responding to the glucose itself, right, which is GLUT2. Yeah. A second tier response is responding to the insulin, which was released in stimulation by the first tier response. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so glycolysis, here we are. Glucose, 6 carbon to 2 pyruvate, right? This is anaerobic, it doesn't require oxygen. The citric acid cycle, or Krebs cycle, or whatever you want to call it, TCA cycle, whatever you learn. Okay, so this is important. You cannot run the citric acid cycle without mitochondria. You stop at pyruvate. But every cell can go from glucose to pyruvate. You have to be able to make some energy. Right? And the only 2 ways you can get rid of pyruvate is to turn it into acetyl-CoA and send it to the citric acid cycle. I mean, to make additional energy. Or send it to lactate and get it out of the liver. Get it out to the liver, which can turn it back. Okay? So, again, I know how much time you guys spent learning this entire thing. I know you memorized every single piece of it, and I know you ran all the way through this cycle. So I'll upload this PowerPoint. There's a lot of notes in here that remind you of that, and a lot of the pages in this whole thing go through this again and again and again, because some places use this book for biochem all the way through. So that's this chapter. We're not going to worry about that, okay? Right, so this thing where it says see slides chapter 12 for review of individual steps. If you don't remember where glucose 6-phosphate comes from, go look at the PowerPoint, look at the book, look at these outlines. Okay, all right, so I will just think about this. Your net is 2 ATP, right? 2 ATP and 2 NADH and 2 H+, okay? We're not making a whole lot. Pyruvate destination. So it can go to acetyl-CoA or we can go to lactate. We just covered that. To go from pyruvate to lactate, you use the lactate dehydrogenase enzyme. This may be new. Did you guys do pyruvate to lactate in 353? A little bit. Okay. I know it totally depends on who you get and how much time we have in that class. And then the lactate goes to the liver for gluconeogenesis. Okay? Or the cardiac muscle can make ATP. So if you're looking for something that's not directly glucose that is used to make glucose, there's a great example. Lactate. Only in the liver. Because the liver cells do a lot of things that the other cells don't do, so the other cells can focus on other jobs. The liver has a huge detoxification and glucose or glycogen storage role. They do a lot of stuff. Okay. All right, so what do we do with these other things? So fructose is metabolized mainly by the liver. There are these steps that are similar. Okay, so you go fructose, and then you go to fructose 1-phosphate, and then you flip it, and then you end up with these other things. Okay? Not it's great. But this is what happens. Like, you need to know that you can break down fructose, and then we end up making energy out of it, okay? Because then you can go, look, you're in glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, you can hop into another place where you can go into a standard pathway. Galactose, same thing. You're going down here, and then you can ephemerase, and then you've got glucose 1-phosphate, and we know what we can do with that, right? If you've got glucose 1-phosphate, that's a reversible step in the pathway, and you can go to glucose 6-phosphate, because you get 6 to 1, so you can go back up, and if you're at glucose 6-phosphate, you can go back to glucose. So, don't memorize that, I'll unhighlight that. My point is that galactose can get turned back into glucose, because you can hop into those reversible steps, and this is why you memorize all those steps. So that if you see that, you can take lactose 1-phosphate and turn it into glucose 1-phosphate by epimerizing, remember epimerizing means that you're only different in one place in that 6-carbon chain, then you know that you can get back to glucose from where you start. Okay, that's why you memorize which one is the non-reversible step. Because if you go in at the non-reversible step, you're too low and you can't hop back up, right? But if you're at a reversible step, that means you can go in either direction. Even if it requires energy to run, that's how you get glucose from galactose. That's what we do with it. We take galactose, we turn it into glucose by doing a couple of different chemical steps. I don't care if you know the specific chemical steps. This book, if you need them, will show you where to find them. Like, it'll go through every single one, but we're not memorizing them. Okay.